Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and today I'll be doing my 199th Mezco Toyz 112 Collective action figure review, this time being of the Fantastic Four. Now, taking a look at the front, we can see that these figures come in what quite possibly is the largest tin packaging I have ever seen. And if we turn the tin around, we can see a great classic comic book image of the first family. So with the box out of the way, let's go ahead and crack these figures open and let them breathe.
Alright guys, so let's start off with Sue Storm here. To be honest, I was very interested in her because, you know, Mezco rarely gives us females, and when they do, they're not all that great. So I'm really just curious to see how this turned out. And one thing I will say about all of these figures, first of all, the suits do look fantastic. I love the material used. The fabrics all look great. But for me, I would have preferred if Mezco would have Mezco-fied these suits, you know, and I get why a lot of people just want just a straight up classic comic book look. You know, I love those looks as well. But when it comes to Mezco, I really do like when they give things their own flair. You know what I mean? Like some of the Green Lanterns, those suits can be pretty basic, but they gave them their own flair and things like that. Wish they kind of would have done that with these. But still, they do look amazing. Again, I love the materials. The blues all look really nice. Again, simple black boots, black gloves, black belt, black collar. They're really solid number 4 on there. And Sue looks really, really good. So with all of these figures, I'm going to jump into the articulation because I do tend to save those for later on. But with each passing figure, I'm going to go ahead and break down the articulation real quick. So the head is on a ball joint, does roll around a bit, does turn left and right, can go up and down. I will notice that this curvature of the hair right here, it keeps hitting the shoulder, as you can see, and it tilts the head like that. But if you put it back, you have to kind of put it behind the head, and the head sits okay. But I notice every time I'm posing it, you know, that curvature of the hair, if my camera would actually focus, it actually ends up bumping into the shoulder and then tilts the head like that constantly. So, you know, I wish that was just molded a little bit or, you know, shaped a little bit better. But what's really nice is the head sculpts do have this really nice rubbery, softer, pliable plastic hair. So I do like that a lot. So the arms can go up, down, up and out that far. That's pretty good. No rotation there. We do get a single bend at the elbow as well as rotation at the elbow. We get rotation at the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist. We do get a double ball peg in the midsection here that goes into the chest and then that one into the crotch. So you actually get a lot of good motion there. That's actually really, really nice. Let's turn left and right, pivot side to side, and crunches back and forth very, very well. That's really good. Hip joints to kick forward that much. Back, not so much. Splits out about that far. Rotation in the upper thigh. Only a single bend at the knee. That bothers me a lot more than a single elbows. This should be a double jointed knee. That's really disappointing, to be honest with you. And it kind of feels like it does rotate there a little bit. You can also rotate at the boot. And then ankles around ball pegs. Those will roll around side to side, up and down, and a fairly good ankle rocker. So that's actually really nice. Again, she looks really good, man. And I really do like what we're getting here. Now, starting off with Sue's accessories, each figure does come with a Fantastic Four Mezco circular base stand, which is the simple Fantastic Four classic logo right there. And of course, you get the clear articulated arm. With her, we do get a bunch of interchangeable hands, the different types of stylized posing hands and things like that. And all the hands that she'll use for, like, you know, using her powers and all that kind of stuff is really, really cool. And then we just get a ton of really awesome effect pieces. One I do really like is this one right here. This is just meant to, like, plug onto the forehead right there. Not even plug on it, so it has a little magnet in there. That's actually really, really nice. And I was kind of noticing too, like, does she have a little bit of a big forehead on the head sculpts? You know, but I realize it's meant to, you know, house the effect piece like that. You even get this little attachment that you can plug in like that, and you can see she's, like, using her powers right there. We also do get these ones where, like, you can plug into the different types of hands, and these could be a little tricky, honestly, to get through. I've really had a hard time kind of trying to figure out which hands do what and things like that. But you can plug those on like so. And then you got this type of effect that'll plug on through that. Just kind of slides in like a cone like that. And you have like a little force field kind of thing. But well, they even get a larger force field effect piece, which is really, really nice. This one's really cool because, first of all, it's large. And then you have these like almost bullet shots, like bullet effects that are like kind of like ricocheting or you know, just vibrating off the force field that she's producing. I think that's really awesome, dude. So it's kind of tricky though, because like these little effect pieces right here are going to plug into these these little slots right here. And then you kind of have to like peg the hand in through the fingers, with the fingers into the effect piece like that, and then kind of plug this on. Honestly, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but when you do it, it's totally worth it. It actually looks really, really cool, and you'll see pictures of all this stuff later. But I'm telling you straight up, it is pretty finicky and kind of annoying. At the same time, it works out great, so I do dig that. The only thing with the effects is I kind of wish, and you'll see some of the other figures here, they should have gave us like maybe translucent hands and forearms to make it look like she's actually turning invisible, or a translucent head or something. You know what I mean? I get that we see her powers here of making force fields and things like that, but she is the Invisible Woman. The fact that she comes with no invisible effect pieces or interchangeable parts is a little weird to me. And then the last things that we do get with Sue here are going to be the interchangeable head. So you do get the standard head, the one I've been showing off here, where she looks amazing in my opinion. I actually really do love the face sculpts that they're doing with all of these figures. I think Sue looks beautiful, especially with her eyes. I think the eyes look fantastic. But you know, you got a more standard, semi-smiling face. Then you have a more serious, focused face. And then you got an angry Sue face, which I think is great. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this one on, because honestly, that angry Sue head, she is definitely going to have that on my shelf. I can get that on there. There you go. Because I think she looks like pissed yet gorgeous. I really, really do like that. Again, with the hair, I think it looks awesome. You got that nice wash in there. You can kind of see that. Darken that up a bit. There's a little bit of hair on there, but the hair on the hair, it's weird. But that looks awesome, man. What a beautiful looking Sue, in my opinion. Again, I love the intensity of the eyes and the brow. Just very classic Sue Storm. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about Reed Richards himself here, Mr. Fantastic. You know, I guess, leader of the team, however you want to call it. But again, the suit does look really, really nice. Simple blues and blacks with that great Ford logo at the center. Looks awesome. And again, I just wish they did Mezco-fy these suits. I think that would have been really, really cool. But again, that very classic look does work for me, so I do love that. And I kind of wonder if maybe we might get like the blue and white versions, or maybe some other versions down the line. I don't know. Maybe that's where they include the Invisible Woman invisible parts. I don't know. Kind of just throwing that out there. But this still looks very good. Again, so I'm going to break down the articulation real quick. Head and the neck are on ball pegs. Those roll around left and right, up and down, pivot side to side. Really nice. Arms can go all the way up, down, up and out that far. Rotation at the bicep, double jointed elbows, rotation at the wrist, as well as a hinge at the wrist. We do get a double ball peg in the midsection, so that rolls around left and right, crunches back and forth very nicely, does pivot side to side. Hip joints that kick forward and up that far, back not so much, splits out very, very nicely. Rotation, upper thigh, double jointed knees where he can kick himself in his own butt, rotation at the boot, and then the ankle peg, or the ankles are on ball pegs, so those roll around side to side, up and down, and pivot very nicely. So pretty good articulation for this guy, and man, it just does not end there with this one. Now, starting off with the accessories for Reed here, we do get a few interchangeable hands, and then we get some type of remote control communication device. I'm not really sure what that thing's called, nor do I care, because I'm never going to use it, but hey, I'm never going to bitch about extra accessories, right? But what's really cool about this one, man, Mezco went above and beyond and just knocked this out of the park, because we get a full-on interchangeable upper torso that is just insane. The whole upper torso here is just on a ball peg, and then you can actually plug this in right there, which can be a little tricky, you know what I mean? But we also do get these big rubbery hands, which look awesome. I just love the giant hands. I think those are super cool. Put that on like so. I mean, you even get like full-on like extended boots. The boots can come off and you can put these longer boots on, which is really nice. Then you can go ahead and peg a head on there. And speaking of the heads, you got 3 interchangeable heads with this guy. So you got a pretty smiling face, which looks really nice. And then you got a more serious Reed Richards, which he looks pretty angry and pissed off. But my favorite is definitely going to be the bearded Reed Richards. I think that thing looks incredible. That is my preferred look for Mr. Fantastic here. Now again, you could take these heads, put them on the neck just like so. Or you got this weird looking suggestive piece right here. I love this because this is actually going to go ahead and slide over that other neck peg like that. And then you can plug on the Reed Richards head. But what's really cool, this neck, bendy wire, so you can like pose that around and you can do some really creepy and weird things. These arms, bendy wires, so you can do all kinds of really cool stuff. You do get a hinge and a swivel at the shoulders right there, so that's really nice. Then a swivel and hinge at the wrist on these arms as well. The whole upper torso on a bandy wire, so that can be posed around. You can do some really weird and crazy creepy things with that as well. And even the boots, bandy wire on the boots, man. That is nuts. Just to see all the different things you could do with this creepy Reed Richards is mind-blowing. Now here's the thing. This is one of those figures that you're definitely going to want to use the stand with the articulated arm. You can get him to stand. It might take a while or some finagling and some finesse, but if you just don't have the patience, you're definitely going to want to use a base and the articulated arm to get this guy standing up because he's so off balance with these stretchy pieces. He's just not going to stand on his own all that well. Again, it can be done, but luckily we get those extra stuff to hold him up. But damn, look at this dude. Everything's so stretchy and gummy and rubbery and weird, and I love it. This is the Mr. Fantastic I feel like I've been waiting for my whole freaking life. Next up, let's go ahead and check out Johnny Storm here. Again, the very basic blue suit with the black attachments, things like that. Of course, you get the really cool Johnny Storm heads. All that, again, very basic. Again, I'm going to break down the articulation real quick. This does feel like a Gomez body, so that's probably what this is with the exception of the arms. Those feel a little too muscular, but it does feel like a Mezco Gomez buck. So the head and the neck are on ball pegs. That rolls around just like so, up and down, out to the side. We do get a butterfly joint in there, rotation at the bicep, double jointed elbows, rotation at the wrist, as well as a hinge at the wrist. You can rotate at the glove a bit. Double ball pegs at the midsection, rolling around, does turn left and right, pivot side to side, like so, crunches back and forth, everything you need to do. Hip joints kick forward and up that far, back about that much, splits out very, very nicely. Rotation, upper thigh, double jointed knees, could almost kick himself in his own butt. Rotation at the boot, ankles are on ball pegs, those roll around, do everything that you need to do. So the articulation on these figures, in my opinion, work very well, especially, Johnny Storm here and Reed Richards. So not so bad. I mean, she could be a lot worse, to be honest with you, but definitely these two are awesome, man. You can get some really good poses with this one. Now, moving on to his accessories, we got a lot of good stuff with this guy. So you got a bunch of different interchangeable hands, like flying hands and, you know, throwing fireball hands and all that kind of good stuff. But you just get a ton of fire effect pieces, which is great. What's really cool, you get a ton of different effects that are like, you could take these and you can like clip these around the arm, and they are tend to be a soft pliable plastic, so you can clip them around the arm like that. And you have different ones for the legs, and you can mix and match the different effect pieces. Like one of these, you could take this and like put around the bicep if you want the flames to go a little higher. Do whatever you want with it. I mean, there's instructions to show you where these go, but I don't really care because I like to do whatever I want with my toys. So I do like that. The one here goes like around the back. This one kind of sucks because it does not stay. I kind of wish this had a magnet to like be magnetized to stay in place. But the looks of it and how it is, I don't know if it's just not formed properly, but every time it just does not want to stay around the shoulders or on the back like that. So that's kind of annoying. I might have to put a little bit of sticky tack on that to get that to stay. We also get this really cool piece, which is this little arm attachment. So you're going to go ahead and take the hand off, slide it on like that, and then you're going to go ahead and plug the hand back in. That is because this guy comes with fireballs, and if I can see where the freaking peg is, I don't see a peg in that one. That's maybe just the one that he holds in the hands. There we go. So you can take that and then plug this in here like so. Are you guys enjoying watching me struggle? I feel like that's probably kind of fun. But then you can see, you can make it look like you're just throwing a fireball. I think that's really cool. And then what I do is I take one of the effect pieces and like wrap it around the arm like that to make kind of cover that clear piece a little bit. And it looks really, really cool, like you're shooting fire. So I love that option. Or you get this full-on multi-fireball attachment, which does have a hand built into it. And you just plug this one directly in there. And this could be a little tight. But I mean, you kind of get what I'm saying. And you'll see some poses with this guy a little later. He looks freaking awesome with that. But that is a really cool fire effect piece. It is a little heavy, so I feel like it's going to weigh down the wrist peg. So you just kind of be careful and pose him in the right way where it's not drooping him down so much. But I do love all the stuff that you do get like that. So just a ton of good fire effects. We also do get 3 interchangeable heads, which are great. So you get the more standard head, which looks really nice. You got the more happy head. And again, I just love the way the eyes look, the brow looks, the hair all looks great. I think all the head sculpts in this set are amazing. And I really do love the flame on head, which is really cool. So I'm going to show how that works now. So we're going to go ahead and take off the head. Do note that the ball peg is embedded to each individual head, so that works out that way. Now you're going to see the skin piece for the neck like that. That is a separate piece. Like you can kind of like ply off just like that. That's going to come off. And then you're going to go ahead and get this red one and pop that on, because that's going to be the flame on neck piece like that. Now you do get a little LED feature with these. A little piece right here of the ball peg of the translucent head. Does come out, but it has a little batteries in there. We also do get a little tool. You're going to get this little tool and flip the switch on, and you can see the LEDs light up inside the head sculpt, which I think looks nice. That is a really cool looking effect, and how they did that is pretty awesome, like so. I'm going to pop that on like that. That looks pretty good right there. So really cool stuff. But again, it does not end there. You do get a full-on flamed base, which looks rad. I dig this so much. This as well does have a little switch at the bottom with some LEDs that lights up. And once you get this posed on the flame base with all the fire effects pieces, I mean, turn off some lights and this guy looks insane. Oh my god, I love it so freaking much. It looks badass, dude. It looks so badass. Oh my god. Oh my god. Now here's the thing with this. I'm just gonna leave the lights on. So this is kind of tricky. You do have to get the figure on there. You do have to take it apart. There's 2 little pegs right here that'll peg onto the side. And you kind of have to like put this piece on first. And I'm gonna try and do this for you here, because you kind of have to like feed the legs through like that, and then get this piece wrapped on here, and kind of like feed the leg through that, like that, something kind of like this. And then you can see the, the left leg to the right, or his left, is going to go under these pegs, kind of like that. And you're going to give them a little push down like so. So the legs are kind of like that. Wrap these pieces around there. You know, something to that effect. And then the feet have like little slots where the feet will slide in like that on both sides. And then you're going to want to peg those in like that. And that will be how that poses on the stand. Now, to be honest with you, when I first tried that, it was super finicky and honestly kind of a pain in the butt. But once I figured it out, it's so easy. And damn, does it look so awesome. Now we're going to take a look at Ben Grimm here. This thing looks awesome, dude. I really, really do love this. Now, I know a lot of people are basically saying, hey, it's a Marvel Legend with some fabric shorts on. And yeah, you're not wrong. You know what I mean? You're really not. But hey, I love this. I think it looks so freaking dope. The head sculpt, again, looks fantastic. And all the paint and the washes on this thing look fantastic. Just the dark dirtiness of the stone body looks really, really cool. Even on like the pegs, like, let me take off a hand real quick. Even on like the ball joint, you can see the sculpted line work for all the stone. I think looks really cool. Even in like the forearm joints and even like in the shoulder joints right here, you can see where it's all sculpted to look like stone. I think that's awesome, man. Great detail like that. Instead of being a smooth surface, you get that stone look all over the place to really make it really look unison in that skin tone. With the exception of like the back legs right there, you can just see obviously where the joints are. But those big thing feet, man, look so good. Oh my god, this makes me very happy. And I do love the soft goods here, the shorts with like a pleather like belt with that Fantastic Four logo on there, looking really, really nice. So again, I'm gonna break down the articulation real quick. The head is on a ball peg, rolls around, does turn left and right, up and down, side to side. We can go all the way up like that, all the way down, up and out very, very far, like so with the shoulders. We do get butterfly joints that work okay. They're nothing crazy, but they are there, and they do help a tiny bit, but I mean, they're nothing insane. Rotation of the bicep. We do get single joints at the elbow that actually bend at 90, so that's actually pretty good. I thought it was going to be a lot less than that. That works out good. Rotation at the wrist, as well as a hinge at the wrist. We do get a ball peg at the midsection that kind of rolls around a bit, mostly just left and right, crunches back and forth a tiny bit, pivots side to side, and rolls around. Hip joints that kick up about that far, back not really, out to the sides about that far right there without splitting the seam of the shorts. Rotation of the upper thigh. We got double jointed knees, and then we got ball pegs at the ankles, so you can roll those around side to side, up and down, and a fairly decent ankle rocker, man. So Ben Grimm here, I just think he looks cool. Very classic looking. I always loved the character, and now that I think about it, I don't think I've had a Thing figure since like the Toy Biz days, so it's been a while. Now, good old Ben here does get a decent amount of accessories. Of course, we got to have the closed-fisted hands for his clobbering, you know what I mean? And we got gripping hands and open palm hands. Those are really nice. And then we do got punching effect pieces that do just kind of fit around the fisted hands, so those work out very, very nicely. And then you can see he does come with his classic hat and shades. That's really awesome, because this figure also comes with a fabric trench coat. This is really cool, man. And this is just like classic comic books where, you know, people, all they had to do is wear a trench coat and a hat, and all of a sudden people wouldn't notice them. They wouldn't notice this giant stone dude because he wore a trench coat and hat. Pfft, whatever. Old school comic books were awesome. But the soft goods here look really good. I love all the different buttons. I love the belt here. The belt is on a bendy wire. You can actually open this up, and you can see the inside right there. It looks really nice. Bendy wire all running through the lining of the coat. Looks really good too, and again, you'll see pictures of this on later on. But of course, you could also take those shades and put the shades on like that, and you could take his hat, put his hat on. Those just went flying. But again, you'll see pictures towards the end of the video with all this stuff on. I think that's super cool and just a lot of fun. Now, Ben does come with two weapons, which are really cool. So you got this nice like steel beam that he probably just ripped off or just picked up and swung it like Dr. Doom or some bad guy. You can kind of see where it's like clinched, like he pinched it with his hands and stuff like that. What's really cool about this, it's actually bendy. So you can make it look like he's actually bending the steel. I don't know, I didn't expect that for some reason. I'm pretty sure it said it in the promo video or promo pictures and stuff. I didn't pay attention. I try not to pay attention to that stuff because I want to be surprised when I first get figures. But that's a really cool thing, man. I love that. But we also get this light post of Yancey Street. You got the clear dome on there. Actually does kind of look like it's glowing. That's really awesome. The green light post looks good. You got the wires like you just pulled it right off the sidewalk. That's awesome. So I love this. And again, it's freaking bendy, dude. Again, like he's bending these things and just showing off his incredible strength. That is so cool to me. I love this stuff, man. You know, when I think of when Mezco just screws certain things up, I see things like this. And for me, I mean, they just completely redeem themselves. Now, in my opinion, this is not a 4-pack, it's a 5-pack, because we get Herbie here. No, not Herbie the Love Bug. We get Herbie the Robot, which is so cool. I'm so glad they included this. First of all, you do get a little base where he can stand, like make it look like he's hovering and things like that. This is just super cool. He is articulated. The arms do have ball pegs. Those can kind of roll around and do whatever you want. The arm fingers, or the hand fingers, even the arm fingers. Yeah, the arm fingers. His little clawed hands kind of do open like that. And they also do bend at the elbow. His little thruster feet are on little ball pegs, so those move around and do all kinds of stuff. Even the neck. This whole neck is actually like a rubbery material, so you can kind of see it bend as you're like, you know, moving it around. That's pretty cool, dude. I love how they did that. This guy also does come with a bunch of features, like his eyes do telescope out like that, so you can pull them all the way out and then push them back in like so. That's really cool. We can take, you know, obviously not with my big fingers, but I'm going to take a little thin knife here. We could pop this open. Then you got a supercomputer in there for Reed Richards to use. That's really nice. We could take this piece. Again, my fingers cannot work for this kind of stuff. And you got whatever the hell that is. Some kind of workstation thing. But it looks cool. I just love how all the different gadgets on this guy. Even turning around, you have a flap for his butt. That can come down right there, and you got more gadgets and gizmos and buttons and doohickeys and all that kind of stuff. That's a scientific term, right? Doohickeys. But you can see all these different colored pieces right here. These are actually individual vials that I'm going to attempt to pull out. Again, it's hard to do this with my giant fingers, but they are individual clear little vials that you can kind of see there. And then you can actually take these, and there's a little hole, and you can actually hold them in the front of him like that to make it look like, again, he's running some type of tests on whatever chemicals or things that he's doing, which I think is pretty rad, man. That's a really nice touch, and all of those do come out for different serums or whatever, I don't know. But you also do get the feature to pop off the arms if you want to. You could take those off. You could take off this ring like that. And then you do get these caps, so if you don't want the arms to be exposed and you just kind of want them to be like a floating torso, you can do that as well. And not only that, of course, we do get effects with this guy. He does have thruster effects that are pretty cool. You can just plug all of these in like that, and you'll kind of hear them like click in place, which is actually pretty satisfying when you do that. Like that, and then you can pose the thrusters around to make it look like he's going to the side and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, man, I'm just really excited that they included this, and they just did such a great job with him. And again, he really is the 5th figure in this supposed 4-pack set.
So for a quick size comparison, here they are standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and Mafex Batman figure. Also for comparison, here they are standing next to the Mezco 112 Collective Destro and Gomez. And just for fun, here they are with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the Fantastic Four. Now man, I was really curious about this set. Now this set is very expensive, well over the $400 range, so that's going to hold a lot of people back. But if you can afford it, I think these figures are awesome, man. You get so much play, so many options out of these figures. It is pretty insane to see, and especially when you have them in hand. I love all the different things that you get with Thing there. His bendable weapons, that is just so cool and unique. I love that they did that, especially when you have the trench coat, hat, and glasses. That's a really cool addition for Thing there. Sue Storm is probably the weakest figure, honestly. The joints and the mold, I mean, God, Mezco really needs to work on the female Buck. They could do so much better. But the sculpt, I think her face sculpts are gorgeous and beautiful. I love the different effect pieces, even though they could be a little finicky, but she's still pretty awesome. I freaking love Johnny Storm. Oh my god, the interchangeable head sculpts, especially the LED ones with the LED base and all the different types of fire effects is pretty insane. You know, it takes a while to get used to pose that guy on that flaming stand and stuff, but man, once you do it, he looks so incredible. I'm just so happy they did him very, very well. But Mr. Fantastic probably is the standout for me just because he has freaking pretty much every interchangeable body part you could think of for the most part. I mean, and all of them are on bendy wires. That's pretty impressive. I also love the fact that he came with a bearded head. That's so cool too. And then we get Herbie. Come on, man. Herbie's so cool. What a great addition. Again, he is the 5th character in this box set. All of these figures are freaking dope, man. I really don't have a whole lot of complaints other than I kind of wish they had Mezco-fied the suits a little bit better, but still, they're awesome, they're fantastic, and a definite must get. So be excellent to each other, and stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.